Okay, I have a question. Is a $2,600 lens better than a $200 lens? Well, we're gonna find out right now. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be talking about these two lenses, the Canon 50mm 1.2 RF versus the Canon 50mm 1.8 RF. There is a huge difference between these two lenses, and it's not just the size, but it's the price tag. Now, real quick, right off the bat, I am sick. Sorry about that. My voice sounds weird. I apologize. But I was about to take some photos of this new hat that I just got. If you guys checked out my last vlog, I just got this new hat made from Encounter Hat Co. If you guys haven't checked out my last vlog, that is the whole vlog about this hat being made. But I wanted to get some really cool photos, and I wanted to take some very piratey, very cool, vintagey, very nautical, almost esque aesthetic photos. I looked at my shelf and I saw two lenses. I saw the 50mm 1.2 and the 50mm 1.8. I thought, what is the real big difference? So I decided, why don't we put them to the test? So basically the point of this video is I'm going to be taking a bunch of photos of this hat, and I'm going to show you guys the difference between the 50mm 1.2 and the 50mm 1.8. And I want to see if you guys can actually tell the difference in the photos that I get. Now I'm going to be editing the photos the exact same way. I'm going to be taking the photos pretty much the exact same way. The only thing that I might be doing just to spice up the photos a little bit is adding the Everyday Filter by Polar Pro, just because I really love how this filter deals with highlights, and the 1/4, I believe, mist filter in this. I do like that effect. I think it'll soften the image really nicely, but I will only use this if I can find a filter thread to go to the tiny little 43mm to 82mm. So if I can find that, that would be kind of funny sitting on there, because this filter is literally bigger than this lens. So if I can find that, then we will go ahead and do that. If I can't find it, we might just have to skip that part. But I'm going to basically take you guys through exactly how I'm setting up this shoot. I'm going to show you guys what I'm using as far as props, as far as, you know, how I'm going to be taking the photos. And then at the end of the video, we're going to be showing the photos, and I'm going to have you see if you can guess which ones are taken with the 1.2 versus the 1.8. And let's see if it actually makes a difference. I think it'll be a good fun. Without further ado, let's get started. And before we get into this video, I want to make sure that you guys stick around till the end of the video, because we're going to be doing the first giveaway of the channel. So stick around to the end if you want to be a part of that, because I must say, it's pretty freaking awesome. All right, so I'm going to be taking you vlog style through this setup, and then basically showing you everything, and then we're just going to get to shooting. So first things first is we have the hat, and I want to show you the hat in detail. Okay, so here we have the hat. Now, this is a custom wide brim fedora type hat that I think looks really nice. I really love the detail and the amount of detail that's on this hat. And it is just standing on this cool little candlestick holder that I got a long time ago. And that is what's going to basically be the stand. And as you can see, we have a lot of detail going on in the hat. So first of all, we have a Pete's Power Life piratey playing card that I think is really cool. We have a feather going on. We have a couple cool things here. We have a white band, a maroon band, and then a black band, and then a chain that I actually have the Fox and Colors Rebirth pendant on that chain, because I just thought it looked really cool with this hat, and I think it's a really cool detail. I have a little Pete's Pirate Life Fly the Flag pin. And then as you can see, because Alexandra made it, she put her little mark there. We have a couple X's, and then we burnt the crap out of this thing. It looks really sick. On the inside, we have another playing card. We have some cash, which you don't need to know about, but now you do. And so we just want to get all these details, and we want to show it off. And I think the best way to show it off is with all of this stuff here. So I'm going to go through all of this really quick. Okay, so I should probably preface this by saying you don't really need all of this stuff to take these photos. I just really want to get that nautical, cool looking vibe going on. So what we're going to do is I want to really just have a lot of texture going on in these photos, and yes, I know the core of the photo is going to be a wide photo showing the hat itself, but I really want to show a lot of the close-ups. So in order to do that, I want to get a lot of detail. So with that detail comes a lot of texture, and that's where I have a lot of things like this. Just a brass magnifying glass that I think looks really cool, a brass lighter, brass pen, Pete's Pirate Life dagger, which actually was used in making this hat because we burnt the tip of the dagger to kind of add a little bit of like detail into the actual part of the hat. So it's kind of cool. Brass letter opener, a lot of brass. And then as you can see, we also have a lot of other textures. We have, you know, some whiskey, some an old root beer bottle. We have a cool little treasure chest here. We have this really cool old notebook thing with like, you know, old vintagey paper that's like cloth paper. It's super cool. So I think this just adds a lot of really cool texture. And then I think the coolest thing I got was, I got this a long time ago and I haven't found a use for it, but this is stationery paper, and it's, you know, like old, you know, crazy stationery paper. So I'm gonna open this up and I'm gonna kind of fold it and put a wax stamp on it and kind of have it as a prop in the background, and I think that'll look really cool. So now we just have to set all this up. This is the fun part. We're just playing around with all of this. Will it turn out good? Who knows? I don't know if you just saw that, but I just totally figured out how to make a makeshift little paper, and I'm stoked about that. Okay, so to set the scene, I have the whole thing being lit by the Aperture 300X with a huge light box, or softbox. And then I have an Amaran 200X that is on a very, very warm Kelvin. And this is just like not diffused, just pumping out light through this glass bottle because I want it to just be super warm and harsh. And I think this angle, just like going from like right here with the 50mm lens, would look super sick. So I think we're gonna start with the 1.2 and then go to the 1.8 and just have some fun. Alright, so I just got finished taking photos of this hat, and I have to say, I think the photos turned out really cool. I really love using a 50mm focal lens because I feel like it just is a perfect lens for separating the background from the subject, but also not being too tight and being able to give a good middle ground, especially for products. I find that if you kind of go wider to 35, you can tend to warp the product, and if you go maybe closer towards a 70 to 100 or 200, it's very tight, so you have to stand a lot further back. Now I'm in a small office. If you guys didn't see from the B-roll, I pretty much shot all the photos sitting from this chair. I don't like doing that, so that is one thing that I would have to say is, you know, whether you're shooting on a 50mm or not, make sure you have room, because that will definitely help your photos. But going to the actual photos itself, can you tell what was taken on the 50mm 1.2 or the 1.8? So let me know what you got right, because I'm honestly looking at these photos and looking at them back, I don't really see that much of a difference. I think that the thing that I noticed the most was shooting with the 1.2. I'm very used to this lens. I use this lens all the time. I love this lens, so it felt very natural. The sound is very different. Check this out. That's the sound that you get with the 1.2, whereas the 1.8 is a little different. It's a little bit harsher. I don't know if that really is a turning point on whether or not you should get a lens that is, what, 10 times more expensive? Probably not. As far as shooting goes, I will say getting around and finding the angles, I think I had an easier time with the 1.8 because it was so tiny. I shoot on the Canon R5, and this is a very compact setup. It's really nice. I honestly can see myself going out and taking some street photos or using this on a more regular basis. versus the very heavy and rather big 1.2 lens. Now, when it came to actually focusing and finding focus and stuff like that, RF lenses are super fast. It was almost like I can't really, oh my goodness, my Leo's just right there. He's being so cute. I can't even tell if like how, I think the 1.2 was just a tad bit faster. If I had to put money on it, I would say that the 1.2 is a little bit faster as far as focusing, but I would also say that there is potentially a little bit more hunting with the 1.2, mainly because I think you have a much larger range of what can be in focus versus the 1.8. I don't know if that makes sense. Makes sense to me. Sorry if it doesn't. But that being said, when it comes to things like adding a filter, for example, the short stash everyday filter from Polar Pro, I think that adding something like this to any camera, any lens, is essentially taking away from the overly sharp image that these really sharp lenses have to offer. So I think if you're going to be putting a filter like this on, say, a 1.2, then I mean, it doesn't really necessarily matter if you have a 1.2 or a 1.8. That's my personal opinion. I think most people, actually, honestly, I don't even think I could probably get the photos right. If you showed me in a month and asked me which photos were taken with what, I don't think I would probably get them right because they look really good. They both turned out really well, and both of the lenses did the job very well. So do I think that you need to get a $2,600 lens versus a $200 lens? Well, that's a little bit more of a complicated question. I think that if you are a beginner photographer, don't. Learn the techniques, learn composition, learn stuff like that first, and use the tools that you have. This lens is absolutely fantastic. It's the Nifty 50. That's why it's called that. Everyone loves the Nifty 50. But that being said, when I got the 1.2, it has pretty much been the lens that's lived on my camera most of the time. I shoot mostly everything with the 1.2 50mm because I do love the absolute beauty of this lens, the depth of field, the sharpness, the just razor, and just the look of the lens is absolutely beautiful. So I think it depends on what you are doing. If you're shooting weddings and you're making a lot of money off of that, 100%, I think you should go for the 1.2. I think that it is a worthy investment, and it'll actually end up making you more money in the end. But if you're just doing street photography or just hanging out, stuff like that, maybe just stick with the 1.8. It's smaller, it's more compact, and it gets the job done, and it gets it done really well. I want to ask you, do you guys actually notice a difference? And if you guys own either of these lenses, what do you think? Is it worth spending the money to get a more expensive lens or not? Now, obviously, this is all just food for thought. As a professional photographer, this is what I do as a living. Yes, I think it is worth getting lens like this because this has made me more money and made my work that much better. I think the RF lenses are absolutely great. I'm a huge fan of them, and I think especially with where photography is going right now and the amount of photos you see all the time might not matter. I don't know. That's just my opinion. All right, that is it for today's video. Now, if you guys did manage to stay this far into the video, like I promised, we are going to be doing a giveaway, and today's giveaway is going to be this. Now, this is the Home & Hadfield Watch Deck Pro. Now, this is mine, but I have a brand new one that I want to give away to one of you guys. So, if you guys want the Home & Hadfield Watch Deck Pro, this is a perfect case for displaying your watches, for keeping all of your watches nice and safe from dust, stuff like that, keeping a little, your everyday carry stuff in here. If you guys want one of these, all you have to do is make sure that you guys hit the subscribe button, like this video, and I want you guys to comment what you guys think about the 50mm 1.2 versus the 1.8, and make sure you use the hashtag 50mm, Home & Hadfield, and hat photography. Let's do those 3 hashtags. So if you use those 3 hashtags, you'll be entered into the giveaway for the Home & Hadfield Watch Deck Pro. And I will be announcing the winner on the next video. So stay tuned. Again, ring that notification bell to stay tuned for the next video and see if you guys won. Yeah, that'll be it for me. So I need to clean all this up and take a cough drop or something because I'm dying here. But I love you guys. Remember, take it one step at a time, and I'll see you all later. Peace.